This week's Parsha is Parshas Noach. Parshas Noach in the 7th Aliyah talks about the Tower of Babel. The people, immediately following the flood, decided that they wanted to build one huge city for all of the inhabitants of planet Earth, one massive metropolis where everybody would live. At that time, they all spoke the same language, and they would all live in the same spot, and they thought that would cause that there would be no wars and no fights, and world peace would ensue. Sounds like a very nice thing. So some commentators explain that the reason why Hashem decided that he wanted to mix up the languages so they wouldn't understand each other and spread across the earth was because Hashem punished them. Because they were building a tower that should reach to the highest heights, to the heavens. There's different explanations, but basically the idea was that that tower was the way they would fight with Hashem. They would make sure that he wouldn't bring another Mabul, another flood to the world. But there are other opinions that say that the generation of that Tower of Babel, they did not sin. They didn't do anything wrong. They get this from the language of the verse that says, Vayered Hashem, Hashem descended. Usually when it uses that wording, descended, it means that Hashem is not deciding that they deserve a punishment. It's that Hashem saw what would end up happening. For instance, the way we say, Yared l'soif daitoi, you descend to the end of the consciousness, meaning you realize what's going to happen in the end. That's the wording used by our rabbis when they talk about when Hashem does something because of what will end up being. So according to these opinions that say that the generation of the Tower of Babel did not sin, what exactly was going on? Why did Hashem spread them across the earth? What was the initial issue that required Hashem to spread them across the earth? So the Aruch Chaim, in a very interesting answer, says that Hashem saw that if the entire world lived in one area, in one terrain, with one language, with one purpose, one leader, then the purpose of the world would not be fulfilled. What does that mean? He says that we were placed here on earth to exercise our freedom of will, to exercise to choose or not to choose to do something, to show that we're better people or worse people. So the Aruch Chaim says that if it were to be that everybody would live in one area, in one terrain, and they would all speak the same language, have a common leader, a common government, and have the same interests and so on, then the entire world would be encountering all of the same choices to make. There wouldn't be a varied set of circumstances, set of choices to make for each individual. As if there would be one entity that always went through the same tests and would have to make the same decisions. And that would make it that the world's purpose would not be fulfilled. Meaning, Hashem wanted the people who inhabited earth to spread across the earth, each one encountering a different environment, a different terrain, physical environment, every type of government, temperament of the people, different challenges because they were spread out, and also because they spoke different languages. So they wouldn't be able to converse with each other. They would have conflicts with each other, and so on. That situation would create many varying circumstances, which would in turn produce varying nisyonos, tests, and different types of choices that they'd have to make. And since this world was created for people to make the right choices, that was the purpose of the world. The purpose of the world was fulfilled through that. So therefore, Hashem, when he saw that they were building a tower, signifying their oneness, that all the people who lived on earth all wanted to be one entity, and they all spoke the same language, and they wanted to signify that unity by building a Tower of Babel, Hashem decided to destroy the tower and mix up their languages to give that the entire world, the purpose of the world should happen, that they should all exercise their bechira, their freedom to choose as much as possible. And that would only be possible if they spoke different languages and lived in different areas. Rashi, in explaining what exactly the generation of the Tower of Babel did wrong, because he's of the opinion that they did sin, he explains that just like the Adam and Chava, Adam and Eve, in the Garden of Eden, even though Hashem created them and created the world for them, they didn't show gratitude properly, and they sinned, and they were thrown out of Gan Eden, of the Garden of Eden. So too, the generation of the Tower of Babel is the same thing. Hashem created this beautiful world for them, and they should have shown gratitude, but instead of showing gratitude, they decided to build this tower and fight with Hashem. Like we said, Rashi's of the opinion that the generation of the Tower of Babel did sin. So the question is, what's with this focus on gratitude? Why didn't you just simply say that they wanted to fight with Hashem? That's obviously a sin that's deserving of punishment. Why is Rashi focusing on gratitude? Also, even with Adam and Eve, with Adam and Chava, when we talk about that they ate from the tree of knowledge, wasn't the sin is that they violated a directive from Hashem? Hashem told them not to eat and they ate. Why is this focus on gratitude, specifically over here in these two cases of the sin of Adam and Eve and the sin of the people of the Tower of Babel? Have a good Shabbos.